Have you ever dreamed of a world completely different from your own? A place so magical and mysterious it pulls you in, even if it means risking everything. Today, we're diving deep into the original, hauntingly beautiful tale of The Little Mermaid. A story far more complex and bittersweet than the one you might remember. The story begins in a breathtaking underwater kingdom, ruled by the Sea King. He had 6 daughters, all beautiful mermaids, but the youngest was the most special of all. She was quiet, thoughtful, and utterly fascinated by the world above the waves. While her sisters decorated their gardens with treasures from shipwrecks, she tended to a single marble statue of a handsome boy. And her most prized possessions were the stories her grandmother told her about humans, cities, and the sky. A mermaid's 15th birthday was a momentous occasion. It was the day she was finally allowed to swim to the surface and see the human world for herself. One by one, her older sisters went, returning with tailies of glowing moons, sparkling city lights, and chiming church bells. The youngest mermaid listened, her longing growing with each passing year. Finally, her turn came. She rose from the depths just as the sun was setting, and what she saw took her breath away. A magnificent 3-masthead ship was anchored nearby, celebrating the birthday of a handsome young prince. Music and laughter filled the air. She watched him for hours, her heart captured by his kind eyes and charming smile. She fell deeply in love. But then, disaster struck. A violent storm erupted, tearing the ship apart. As the vessel sank, the little mermaid saw the prince being swallowed by the waves. Without a second thought, she dove to his rescue, supporting his head above the water and guiding him through the raging sea until they reached the shore near a temple. She placed him on the sand, just as a young woman from the temple came out and found him. The mermaid watched from the water, her heart aching, as the prince awoke and smiled at the girl he believed had saved him, never even knowing of the mermaid who truly did. In her father's palace, she couldn't forget the prince. Her sadness was so profound that she finally confessed everything to one of her sisters. Who knew where the prince's palace was? Night after night, the little mermaid would swim to the shore to watch him, her love and her despair growing deeper. She yearned to be with him, to walk on land, to have an immortal soul like humans do, something mermaids don't possess. Her grandmother explained that the only way to gain an immortal soul was if a human loved her more than anyone else and married her. Desperate, she made a fateful decision. She sought out the dreaded sea witch in her dangerous, swirling domain. 2. The witch offered a deal. She would brew a potion to give the mermaid legs, but the price was immense. First, the witch would cut out the mermaid's tongue, taking her beautiful voice forever. Second, every step she took on her new legs would feel like walking on sharp knives. And the most terrible condition of all, if the prince married someone else, the mermaid's heart would break. At dawn the next day, she would dissolve into sea foam, lost forever. Driven by her love, she agreed. She drank the potion near the prince's palace, enduring excruciating pain as her tail split into legs. The prince found her on the shore, captivated by her beauty and graceful movements, despite the silent agony each step caused her. He took her into his palace, treating her like a beloved child. He called her his little foundling, and she danced for him, her feet bleeding, her heart soaring just to be near him. She slept on a velvet cushion outside his door, her devotion absolute. He loved her, but not in the way she needed. He often spoke of his gratitude to the temple girl he thought had saved him. One day, the prince's parents arranged for him to marry a neighboring princess. The prince resisted, saying he would only marry the girl from the temple. But when he met the princess, he was overjoyed to discover she was the very same girl. The wedding was celebrated on a grand ship. The little mermaid's heart shattered. She knew her end was near. As the sky began to lighten on the fateful morning, her sisters rose from the waves. They had made their own sacrifice, giving their long, beautiful hair to the sea, which in exchange for a way to save her. They handed her an enchanted knife. If she used it on the prince and let his blood touch her feet, she would become a mermaid again and live. She took the knife into the prince's tent, where he slept beside his new bride. She looked at his face, the face she loved more than life itself, and she couldn't do it. She threw the knife into the sea, and, as the first ray of sun touched the horizon, she leaped into the water, feeling her body dissolve. But she didn't become foam. Instead, she felt herself rising, transformed into a luminous, ethereal being. She had become a daughter of the air. Other airy spirits welcomed her, explaining that because she had strived with all her heart, she had earned the chance to gain an immortal soul through 300 years of good deeds. She could now fly unseen into human homes, bring relief to the sick and joy to the good. And so, her journey continued, not as a mermaid or a human, but as a spirit of kindness, forever floating between the worlds she loved. This original story reminds us that love can be a powerful, transformative force, even when it leads to heartbreak. It's a tale of sacrifice, resilience, and finding a different kind of happy ending.